I'm RavenWynd.
I'm Ray.
This is the Feather and Bone podcast. Two witches talking about everything witchy and nothing at all.
And eating a biscuit.
Yes, today she's having McDonald's. I think we do eat. One of us or both of us are eating in every single podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I'm not today. Because I ate before you got here. Because we're at my house.
You say that kind of snobby. No, I'm not today.
Yeah. Well, I've been trying to make better choices.
Well, I already know that I'm going to make bad choices. I just forgive myself ahead of time.
Yeah. It's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God, we're stupid.
I know.
So, we had previously done a podcast about things that piss us off within the pagan community. We had some responses come in from other witches and just kind of agreeing with us and kind of putting in some things that they, that pisses them off as well. And we actually noticed a bit of a trend with our male listeners.
Was that your stomach?
That was my throat. I wonder if they could pick that up on the podcast.
I hope they could.
It made just like little sound.
I like, the biggest thing I hope people took from me out of the last one is that don't be stupid and give up friends and things like that over
political.
Yeah. Because that's happened a lot.
Yeah.
This presidency, people losing friends, and I think that's silly.
Well, yeah, because the maximum amount he's going to be president is 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like you and I throwing away our friendship for an 8-year presidency.
It's stupid.
What the fuck ever. But we noticed that a lot of the male listeners and a lot of male witches, that there's some pretty fucked up and concerning shit happening to them.
Yeah.
Within the pagan community and we not aware of it. Like you and I was completely not aware of it.
It's not surprising that I'm not aware of it because I don't talk to anybody, but
this is true.
It's kind of surprising that you hadn't heard of it.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe that's just because I don't really talk to a lot of male witches. I mean, maybe that's...
Honestly, we don't know very many.
We don't. Like maybe 3 or 4 off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we only interact with 2.
2, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, they're definitely, the male witches are definitely almost a minority.
Mm-hmm.
In paganism. But there are some things that kind of come to light. So we decided that we wanted to do a podcast and basically just say listen up, motherfuckers. It's time to respect the male witch.
And hang on, I got a mouthful.
She's like, I have something to add. Let me chew my biscuit first. Oh God, that sounds so bad.
That sounds disgusting.
I'm gonna chew a biscuit.
Just go ahead, I'll say it later.
Okay. You're like, I can't now. I can't.
You turned it into something disgusting.
Sorry. So a lot of the men that contacted us talked about how traditional paganism, witchcraft, Wicca, because there was several from different walks that had contacted us, so whatever you want to call it, that they feel like it's moved away from balance and respecting nature and has become more of this feminist battle cry from women. I'm a woman, you need to fear me and I'm all powerful.
One thing I don't understand, I know it's a little off topic, but with the radical feminism, that's what I'm going to call it, because there's a difference.
Yeah.
I don't understand some of these women's just deep need to be recognized.
Yeah.
It's yeah, you're a chick, we get it. What do you want me to do? Give you a trophy?
Yeah.
I just don't understand where they're coming from
on
a lot of issues. And I'm talking about the radical feminists.
Well, and I when we talked about this podcast, I was like, I'm going to try to keep bringing it back around to witchcraft, because that's what we are supposed to be talking about is witchcraft. Yeah. But there's almost no way to talk about how the men are treated within the craft without talking about feminism. I mean, it's it's basically impossible.
Yeah.
So you were talking about radical feminism, I was like, I had looked up like traditional feminism, which I think you and I are more traditional feminists. If you would even want to say that, like we believe like, cause like traditional feminism, of course,
like, obviously the sexes should have the same rights.
Yes. Like voting, like traditional type of issues that feminism was created for.
Yes.
Yeah. Equal pay, for the same job, that kind of, like, we're all about that. Equal employment opportunities and not losing your job because you have a baby, like, like that kind of stuff. But then, like, because there's modern feminism, which I think is even a step below the radical feminism that you were talking about. Unfortunately today it's like
straight up man hating.
It is. Now, it's not to say that all feminists are like this. They're not, because you and I would classify ourselves as feminists.
Hey,
but we're not crazy.
I love men.
I do too,
and I love being a woman. I don't want to have a man's role. Yeah. In life, in any aspect, I like being taken care of. I like being protected. I like being in that female role.
Traditional gender roles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I like. Hey, I know some people where it's the opposite, where the man is the one that stays home and gets taken care of, and the woman likes being out working. That's fine if that makes you happy. I'm just saying what I prefer.
And I think that's the type of feminist that we are. Mm-hmm. That we're like, yes, we like very traditional like roles in relationships, but that doesn't mean that we're like going to say that that's what every woman has to have. Right. We understand people like what they like or whatever.
Everybody should have the option to do what they like.
But, it's that second group that there seems to be a problem. There seems to be a growing group of women who take feminism to a whole new level. They're quick to attack any man who does something that they think is out of line.
Out of line according to them.
According to them. It's like you and I both laugh our asses off over the whole Trump grabbing by the pussy thing.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny.
I think it's funny. And like,
I even bought a shirt that says, "Grab me by the pussy." Yeah. I don't know. You and I, we have good senses of humor, though.
We do.
We don't take things personally.
But there's this whole group of people out there that just like tried to make that into this huge, huge issue. And
no, you should say huge issue.
he's gonna grab him by the pussy with his little hands.
No, they'd be huge.
Huge. Oh yeah, he's got huge hands. Huge. Like, I don't know, because you and I, we are very vulgar when we're by ourselves.
We're really disgusting people.
Like, what you hear on the podcast is actually the PC version of us. Okay,
we're nasty.
So, like, to us, like, we joke about dicks, and like it's ridiculous.
I know.
So for us,
we'll be
like,
just randomly in the car, and one of us will say to the other, "You know how it feels when you get jizz in your eye?" And the other one's like, "Yeah." Yeah. We just talk about, we're disgusting, guys. We're disgusting.
So I don't know. So like we, even classifying ourselves as feminists, we didn't look at what he said as this big, like, affront to women.
I wasn't offended. But
I wasn't offended.
Some people might have been. I could see why some people might have been, but I just.
But the new group of feminists are saying that, like, because they say it's wrong, then every single other woman needs to say it's wrong too.
Well, I like being grabbed by the pussy, so
I haven't had anyone grab my pussy in a while.
I'm not saying I would just want random people to come up and grab my pussy.
Yeah. So like when they feel like something is out of line, they want like the total and complete annihilation of any man. Like even if it's just the barest rumor that they acted inappropriately. Like
they'll jump on it without facts.
Yeah, they don't want to wait for facts. They don't want to wait for proof. Like nothing. Like what happened with Brett Kavanaugh.
Oh, you're going there, aren't you?
Well, I am. I mean, he's, went through all of that. Taxpayers spent a shit ton of money for all these hearings and all of the, this, and none of it was proven. like none of it was proven, and like,
Yeah.
and it was for stuff that like happened back when he was in college. I did some pretty fucked up shit in college.
I've done some pretty messed up stuff myself.
You're like last night. No.
I've done stuff that involved a church. And...
So I don't know. And like, you know, so his entire family was just dragged through it. And there was like, you know, there was no proof whatsoever. You know, Johnny Depp.
Hang on. Wait. Poor Brett Kavanaugh. Like, I was watching it. He's like, they're like, they said, you drank beer? He's like, yeah, I drank beer. I still drink beer. I like beer. Beer's good.
I'm surprised he didn't get like a promotion deal or something from like Budweiser.
I know. I hate beer. I think it's nasty.
It
but
is.
That just cracked me up.
Yeah.
It's like, of course I drank beer. It's good.
So like Johnny Depp, he almost, because of course he's in the fantastic, the Beasts movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's Grindelwald.
Nobody messes with our Johnny.
And he almost didn't get to stay in that movie because of rumors that had been levied against him. And, you know, J.K. Rowling had to actually, like, put out a public notice. And she says, you know, I can't discuss what I have learned because of confidentiality. But he's a good guy. He didn't do anything wrong.
Johnny can do wrong things to me.
Yeah. You know.
Oh,
but,
God, listen to me.
Anyway, but men are living in a world where, like, an innocent hug can really be turned against them. I went to a training. Now, like I said, we're talking about. I promise I'm gonna bring it back around to witchcraft.
We're just making a point.
It'll connect. I promise. But I had went to a training for my social work license, and it was talking about, like, you know, women who've been raped and all this stuff, and that you should always believe the woman and everything. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, women lie.
Oh yeah,
you know, women lie, and
there's been these poor guys that have had their chances ruined, like at sports careers and stuff.
And even when it's proven that the women have lied, like, it's too late.
Yeah,
there's always going to be someone who believes that it was a cover up or whatever. But I had voiced my opinion and was like, women lie. You know, women lie about being raped, and no, we can't just say she said this man did it, so let's you know, throw him to the wolves. Like, no. We need proof before we do anything to harm somebody. And I was almost ran out of that training.
Yeah.
I mean, you would have thought that I was like barbecuing babies.
Yeah.
I mean, it was ridiculous.
You said barbecuing babies.
Mm-hmm.
I have a barbecuing babies meme I was going to put on your timeline today.
Really?
Yes!
That is weird.
I was going to ask
weird.
you if you thought it was going too far to put on Facebook.
That's so funny. So I mean, it's understanding to think that a lot of feminists would be drawn to paganism because most models of paganism place women in a higher standing than men. The goddess is revered more so than the god by a lot of pagans. You know, so I mean, that's just the structure of the religion.
Oh, and let's not forget about Kevin Spacey.
Oh, yeah. Poor Kevin Spacey.
I love Kevin Spacey. His career was just destroyed.
Yeah.
And then when it came out, the guy's like, I have photographic evidence and blah, blah, blah. What the dude had was a picture of a hand with another hand on top of it. There was no faces in it, no nothing.
Yeah, like, you couldn't tell even that one of the hands was his hand.
I know. And all that got pretty much dismissed from what I understand. I'd have to look it up to be 100% accurate, but
then, like, you got to wonder, like, how long is it going to be before we see Kevin Spacey in any movies again?
I know.
You know?
I know. And like that show House of Cards on Netflix, I loved that show. And then they kicked him off of that because of it. Yeah. And now I won't watch it now because Kevin Spacey's not in it.
Yeah, unless he comes back.
He should come back.
Yeah. So, you know, it's understanding, and that's why we kind of talked about feminism, because, you know, most pagan traditions, Wicca, like whatever you want to call it, is very female-oriented. And, you know, female at the center and as kind of the ruling structure. So it makes sense that we would kind of be filled with feminists. So, like, what's that doing to the guys that are, where does that leave the men in paganism? They're often overlooked, pushed aside, and even outright ignored by their coven members. We've had reports by more than one man that they find this beyond irritating, even when they tell their female counterparts, like, hey, I agree with you, like, I'm a feminist too, and I'm outraged by the same things that you're outraged by. Like, just the fact that they have a penis between their legs, they're not taken as seriously and ignored. I mean, it's just...
I just don't understand all this man hate that's come about the past few years.
I don't either.
I don't get it. I love men. If it wasn't for men, we wouldn't exist. Like, we have to have men and women to keep things going. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like you and I were talking about last night. Yeah, women do stay irritated with men, but men stay irritated with women, and what it all boils down to is because we don't think like each other. Men are logical.
Yeah.
Women are emotional. So I'll get irritated with my husband when he doesn't respond with the same emotional response to things that have me just all kinds of worked up.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I just wouldn't let it bother me. Like,
yeah, like it's that easy for them.
Yeah, and then I drive him crazy because I'm over emotional about things. So I think a lot of those disagreements boil down to us not understanding how the other sex ticks.
Yeah.
We just don't get it. But when people can come together, I had commented about this on a comment in our Facebook group. Mm-hmm. When you bring that together, those two energies, the male, I'm talking human, mundane male. I'm not talking anything esoteric. But when two people can come together and work well together and become a team, that's basically like the perfect yin and yang, a perfect circle. It represents balance. And it can be had. People just need to remove ego from things, and you'll have a completely... I know removing ego is very hard, but you'll have a completely different point of view and perspective on things if you take your ego out of it. Rant over. For real.
You'll pick back up later. Obviously not all, traditions, not all covens are kind of run that way where men are kind of second-class citizens. We don't, like, we kind of have one, like, guy in our learning group. He's a teenager.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at you we have a learning group?
Jesus.
Her eyes just rolled so hard.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm surprised they came back out of her head.
But, our lack of males in our group isn't because we are excluding them. We just haven't had anyone interested yet,
I think a lot of men probably would feel intimidated and not want to join the pagan community.
Yeah.
Just because it is primarily female. Mm-hmm. At least around here it is. Yeah.
But they're not all like that. We're not like that. There are some traditions out there, like the Dianic tradition.
That's rough.
Yeah. I'm not going to get...
I'm not going to slam it.
No.
I don't know. I don't like to have an opinion on something that's very strong unless I've done, like, research. And
a lot of research.
Yeah, and been around it. So I haven't experienced it myself. But just from what I hear from other people, it's rough for some people. Well,
and because I did try to look into a little bit about it just so I could talk about it on this podcast. And it's one of those, it's just like, how people will say they're Wiccan, but they're following different beliefs within Wicca itself.
Yeah.
And Dianic is kind of the same way. And there are some very open covens that have men in their covens. There's some that are closed to men. But it is kind of worldly known as the tradition that is the least favorable to men.
The only thing I know about the Dianic tradition is what I was taught in Crystal Owls. And I was basically just taught that they're a female only
Yeah.
tradition.
Yeah. Two of the founding streams of the Dianic tradition had been developed by Z Budapest and Morgan McFarland. Of course, that was here in the U.S. Like with that one, it's like they really focus on the idea of matriarchy. Many Dianic groups exclude men and see their tradition as a sisterhood, as women's religion. Now, women, the way that they spell it is, I've seen it a couple ways, but this one is WIMINS. Women. Women's. And
I'm going to Google that while you're talking.
And what I found, like, when I was researching that is because, like, they don't, like, they are so against male that they're like, you know, when you say woman or women, like, there's still man and men in the title. So they had to coin their own word to describe their gender because they didn't want to have a man or men attached to how so they spell it instead WIMIN.
WIM.
Yes. Women. So.
Oh, by the way, completely off topic. Ever since you logged into my EA account for me and we canceled that recurring payment, people have stopped trying to hack my account. Do you think they were trying to get my PayPal information or something?
Yeah.
Fucking people.
Anyway, can you? I mean, so imagine what being a man, how that would make you feel, thinking like, here's this group that.
Read it. Read women.
You just want me to read it out loud?
Yeah. As she doesn't read it out loud.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what I was just saying. Women may refer to one, and they spelled it like there's, of course, the way I said WIMIN, but then it also says may refer to woman, WOMYN, an alternative spelling of the word women, sometimes used by feminists. So,
I'm a regular woman,
but can you imagine, like, as a man thinking like, okay, here's this religious group that is so against me that, like, they won't even spell women right.
I wonder how they spell man.
Probably dick. There are some Dianic groups that work with men, but they see their role as less important to that of the woman. Many Dianic groups worship only the goddess, and those that acknowledge the god see the male deity as part of the mystery of the goddess. Now there's tons of rumors, okay, and I'm going to stress rumors.
Rumors, you say?
Rumors, because, like, I couldn't find any basis of truth in this stuff, but obviously for it to be a rumor, our male counterparts are also hearing this, so I thought, like, I would add it. But there are tons of rumors out there about the exact beliefs about men. I've read that they think they are lazy, worthless, and not worthy of knowing witchcraft, and that they're even tainted.
That's mean.
Yeah.
I wonder if they think that about their own dads.
So I don't know. I know that there are some Dianic groups that allow men. I've read that there are some covens. Now, see, this right here is what really kind of fucked me up a little bit. Okay. So you have some covens that are like, no, women only. You have some covens that are like, well, no, we'll let men in because there is a god, but they're subservient to us as the god is to the goddess. And then there's some covens of the Dianic tradition that's like, if you're transgender, fuck off.
I'm sitting here trying to Google and find out if the Dianic tradition practices the Great Rite.
Oh, okay.
Because I think that would be interesting to see how that's pulled off.
Yeah. Maybe they only have one man for that. And, like, they let him out of his cage when it's time. Like, I don't know. But they don't. But a lot of the Dianic covens. Well, not a lot. I don't want to say a lot, but they're.
We're not generalizing.
No, we're not. We're not. But there are some Dianic covens that won't even allow transgendered people, and they're like, okay, if you're transgendered, male to female, even though now you are female or you identify as female, you were born male, so we don't want you in our coven. So then, I'm like, okay, that's bullshit, but whatever. But then, the flip side of it is like, if there's a woman that that goes through her trans and becomes a man, they're like, it doesn't matter that you were born a woman. Now you're a man. You can't be in here. So,
yeah.
So, I mean, that, to me, that's just fucked up. One, it's wrong. But, you're going to be like, okay, listen, you're physically a woman, but you had been born a man, so you can't be here. Well, now you're physically a man, but you had been born a woman, and we're not going to allow you to come here because, you're no longer a woman because you went through your transition. It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. And I do believe that a lot of people are confusing feminism with witchcraft. And I think that's why a lot of people are getting involved in the craft that are coming from the feminist standpoint. Because they're like, oh, this is this big social group that's all about feminism. I'm going to join it. Well, no, it's not. It's not. There's actually a book. It's called Basic Witches. And it was written by a woman named Jess Zimmerman and another woman named Jaya Saxena.
I love it when you say names.
Whatever. But it's a self-help book that's called Basic Witches, and in it they said that if you speak what you're told to be quiet, take pride when you're told to feel shame, love what and who you love, whether or not others approve, you're practicing witchcraft.
No,
you're not.
No.
I'm sorry, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. That's not accurate. So, I mean, when you have when you have books out there that's saying something like that, it's understanding why. A lot of these feminists are kind of confused about what traditional paganism is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be, about that balance in nature, So I don't know. It's almost like some women took the idea of being the center of a religion and ran with it.
Yeah.
Because the popular image of a witch is a woman. If you type in witch in Google and go to Google Images, you're going to see just photo after photo after photo after photo of a woman. You're going to see very few men.
Yeah.
In that. But men have really played an important role in witchcraft's history and practice. Fucking hello, Gerald Gardner.
Can I say my favorite?
Sure.
The look on your face. Ray Buckland.
Yes, and he's on my list.
You can't have him. He's on my list.
Okay. But Gerald Gardner, he is known as the fucking father of which, I don't like him. I'm just saying.
I thought he was a perv.
He is. Gerald Gardner, he was known as the father of witchcraft and was credited basically with creating the modern Wiccan movement. We could do a whole We should do a whole podcast on me saying what I hate about Gerald Gardner, because there's a lot.
I'd just be sitting in the background going, Pervy McPervington.
Yeah. He wanted he wanted everything to be sky clad, and I get that was a different time.
I'm not even comfortable walking naked through my own house.
By yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're like, what if there's a random meter reader?
Yeah.
What if the dog looks at me funny?
What if there's a horny squirrel outside?
What if there's a fire?
Yeah.
I don't But he, so whatever, he wanted sky clad. That was a whole different time, whatever. But he wanted to...
What if you hadn't had time to trim? What if you had a bush?
Oh, this was back when bushes were in, though.
Oh, huge bushes.
Yeah.
What if they didn't have time to, shape it up?
Yeah. I don't think they did.
They might have.
I think they had pit hair and everything.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, It was in England, though, right?
Yeah.
I think they did have pit hair.
That's what I'm saying.
No deodorant.
Yeah.
Sky-clad with pubic hair everywhere.
Yeah. No, he wanted to actually perform the great rite and like actually fucking have sex with his high priestess. And she's like, "Ew."
She's like, I don't think so.
Yeah. So he was like, "Okay, I'll go get a prostitute." And he brought a fucking prostitute.
Wasn't he married?
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. I don't
She
like.
probably started the Dianic tradition.
So,
That's
yeah.
probably what started it all. She's like, fuck you, Gerald.
So I don't like Gerald Gardner, but you can't deny the fact that he is the fucking father of modern day Wicca.
Yeah.
Like, so here's this religion that was founded, started, like, whatever, by a man. And women are like, fuck you, men. I don't know. It's, like, fucked up. And then you have Scott Cunningham, and who is also a man. You couldn't tell by the name Scott.
I wish y'all could see her hand motion.
He is the author of one of the most successful books on Wicca ever published. Ever. He has sold more copies of his book, Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner. He sold more of those...
Wait, did you say practitioner?
Practitioner. He sold more of those books than Raymond Buckland's Big Blue Book.
Don't hurt me.
But that's what I'm saying. He's a man. And, like, you're going to say that men haven't contributed and men, are second-class citizens in this fucking thing? Bull fucking shit. You don't know what you're talking about.
You tell him.
It just pisses me off. And, of course, like, Raymond Buckland. And, like, do I need to say more? I mean, the man, like...
If you guys want books that are very easy to follow and understand, and they're not full of a bunch of ridiculous...
Yeah, because like with a lot of authors, it's like they get so into like trying to prove that they know more than everybody that there's a lot of very like self-serving like bullshit before you get to the meat of what, and he doesn't do that.
He's not like you need to be barefoot under the full moon on this day of the year under the hour of Mars,
or he starts off like I won't say the author's name, but. She's very prone to like tell a story before she gets into it. And it's like, in 1994, while having pizza and with this group, and I named him after me because he's mine. Like you don't get that in
Ray Buckland, guys. If for anybody that's read his books, you'll be able to relate to this. Everything he suggests that you try to do, it just involves go grab a kitchen chair.
Yeah.
Or something you're comfortable in.
He's like us.
And sit in it.
Yeah. He's like us.
He is.
We're just like very like, you know what? We're going to find the easiest way to do this.
Like even his book on spirit communication.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, grab a chair.
Yeah. Nearly everyone that's practicing the craft comes from a religion that is very heavily patriarchal.
What?
I knew pecker-centered. Okay. Patriarchal.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why it was coming out pecker, but...
You're horny.
Well, there's that.
Hey, speaking of horny, how's the Clit Sucker 2000 working out?
I like it.
Do you like it?
I do. I suggest it to anybody. I put the link in the Facebook group if you want to go scroll through and find it. It is a little more expensive as toys go.
I'm kind of scared of it.
But it's worth it. You need to buy one.
I already have a nice one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty.
Is it?
It tells me I'm beautiful.
Really? Like for real?
And then afterwards, it's like, I love you.
Oh. You talking about your husband?
No.
Oh! For a minute, I thought you was talking about your husband. I was like...
No, I'm talking about my pretty blue vibrator.
Oh, okay.
Afterwards, it's like, thank you. That was the best experience I've ever had.
You're like, hold still while I wash you.
Yeah. It's like, you have the prettiest and tightest pussy.
Yeah. Jesus. See,
anyway, that's why I'm not giving that one.
Now, see, and here's an example. we would be perfectly fine with men sitting here having the same type of conversation and laughing about vaginas.
Oh yeah.
And that's what we're trying to like. Women are just as nasty and vulgar as men.
I'd say we're nastier.
Oh yeah, and don't let any of these fucking feminists out here like complaining about men talking about grabbing pussies. There are some conversations happening.
Oh, we're nasty.
Yeah. Anyway,
I've heard you say some shit.
Yeah.
That if it had come out of a man's mouth,
Yeah.
it would have been.
Yeah.
He would just been beat up.
Yeah. And what's so funny is like when I start telling you about like obscure sexual stuff, you're like, how do you know this?
Oh yeah, you know about some weird shit.
I do.
I remember at one time we were talking about I can't remember the context of our conversation, but you brought up a board and a strap inside of a shed or something.
What?
I don't know what you were showing, and I was just looking at you like, what the fuck?
I don't know what you're talking about either.
This has been like 2 years ago.
Okay.
You're sitting there trying to remember.
I mean, there's like there's some BDSM shit that involves like strapping people down to like
That's probably what
crosses and
about.
stuff. That's probably what it was. It's probably like what they call that, like St. Andrew's cross or something.
I don't know, but it involved a shed. You
shed.
specifically mentioned a shed.
maybe instead of a she shed, it was like the sex shed. Anyway,
Hey guys, if you want to meet a woman who would have a sex shed, it's RavenWynd.
Yeah, I'll try anything once.
She's a freak. Man.
I'll try it twice if I'm not sure. Okay. I don't have sexual hang-ups. Like I just don't. It's sex. If it feels good and everyone it's sane, safe, and consensual, like go for it. Sane, safe, and consensual.
Consensual on both parties.
Yeah. You can't be like consent for the other person.
Well, I approved.
Yeah. I put my seal of approval on it. Anyway. So, a lot of, even if they're not coming from those like very like male dominated religions, they're coming from communities that are run by them. Mm-hmm. And if you look just society in general, like most law enforcement officers are male.
I like the uniform.
Yeah. Judges, like, parole officers, like.
And I don't think that that's necessarily because men are picked over women. I think that a lot of women just don't go for those.
We're
nurturers.
Jobs. We end up being the caretakers, the teachers.
Yeah.
We end up in the social work, the healthcare fields, stuff like that.
Could you see me as a cop? I'd pull somebody over. She'd be like, "Officer, I feel like my ovary's gonna fall out. It hurts so bad."
You'd be like, "Have you tried the super maximum Midol?"
And then they'd be like, and then I had period diarrhea. I'd be like, "Oh, honey,
yeah,
don't let me hold you up. You just,"
because that's a thing.
It really is.
For the men who are listening, and you're thinking about all these feminists that pissed you off, just take some comfort in the fact that when women have their periods, most of us get what we call period diarrhea.
Yeah, because the cramping you get, because you cramp so bad, it causes you to be really sick to your stomach and go to the bathroom a lot. Which is horrible!
Yeah, so when you're sitting there thinking to yourself, like, man, she's a bitch, and, like, she's dragging me over the coals, just remember.
She has shit and blood coming out of her rear end at the same time.
Yeah, so take some comfort in that. You don't have to deal with that. Laugh at her.
Just tell her she's beautiful.
I'm like, laugh at her, and you're like, tell her she's pretty. But I don't have a period anymore, so like, it doesn't matter to me.
Anyway. I've got some period stories, but I will not mention them on the podcast.
But anyway, so witchcraft for a lot of people, now male and female, it's like, what?
Have you watched that?
I have not. That's a screensaver on Netflix.
It looks like something you would like.
I know it does.
I don't know about the weird couch on the ground.
I have to be in the mood to watch something new.
You're really weird about that.
I am.
Guys, she has a real emotional issue with watching new television shows. Like, Like, you know how, what is it you say I have that oppositional,
Yeah.
what's it called?
Oppositional defiant disorder.
Okay.
ODD.
Yeah. You down with ODD? Yeah, you know me. But anyway, she has that, but it's with television.
Yeah.
You have watched the Star Trek. Well,
Hi,
hello.
Tapera. Come up here. Let her see your fuzz. Look how fuzzy.
That's not normal, Tapera.
Look at all the hair that's growing on her side.
That's Tapera. You're a hairless cat. That's not normal. Her butthole's puckered out, man.
It's always like that. I think she's got a misshaped butthole. I don't know.
It's like it's one of those belly buttons that's folded over.
Yeah, her buttholes always look like that.
But
maybe that's why she pees standing straight up.
It might be.
Yeah, anyway.
Anyway, you've watched the Star Trek series.
The Voyager one, yeah.
How many times?
Oh, I'm probably 80 million.
You've been watching it since I met you.
Yeah, I just run it all the way through again and again and again. Right now I'm doing Criminal Minds, though.
Except when I made you watch Game of Thrones, you were cussing me.
I did. I waited, and like, I had resisted Game of Thrones for, like...
Years.
Like 6-7 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, when you finally made me watch it, it was when there was, like, one season left to be aired, and I had to fucking wait. Anyway.
She kept calling me and texting me, I fucking hate you!
Yeah. I didn't do anything for weeks.
I know, you didn't move.
My housework didn't get done. Like, nothing. Anyway, let's... Okay, we strayed. Woo, we strayed.
Hey, well, one of our listeners and friends said that us straying makes the podcast so enjoyable that they've even missed their exit on the way to work.
Oh, really?
And had to turn around and go
great.
back.
like, oh, why are you late for work? Listen.
They were talking about the Clit Sucker 2000.
I had to. Let's just needless to say, I was distracted. But both men and women, you know, kind of look at paganism as this breath of fresh air. Because, you know, everything you read and everything that you would study really does say, like, hey, we're open. It's about balance. But then you start meeting the fucking people.
Yeah.
And that's what's doing it. It's the people that are fucking ruining it.
I would like to say, you know, a lot of people think that men are emotionless. And that's so not true. Men hurt just like women do.
Yeah.
And they feel things as deeply as we do.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Well, they've been raised in a society that's like, don't cry like a girl.
Yeah.
Boys don't cry.
They're just, they don't express their deep feelings the same way women do. And so a lot of women will think men are cold and heartless. And that's just not true. They were just taught not to put their emotions out there on display. And taught that it's not manly to appear vulnerable and things like that.
Yeah.
I just want to say that. Don't think men don't feel things, because they do hurt just like we do.
Well, and I hate it that there are men in the community that feel like that they can't even turn to their high priestess.
Yeah.
And say, you're treating me bad.
Yeah.
You know, that they can't turn to their other coven members and be like, you know, please don't disregard what I'm saying because I have a penis.
Yeah.
You know, we're supposed to be a group of people that is all inclusive.
Yeah.
And you know, you and I, like, we don't care what you do with who you do it with. Like,
I don't care.
We don't fucking care.
Just don't ask me to share a cup.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Like, you know, you and I, like, there's no racism, there's no sexism, like, nothing. Like, we're just like, hey,
yeah,
as long as you're not a douchewagon,
yeah,
we're going to be okay with you. But so here we have this community that's like, you know, like right now there seems to be a lot of focus in the pagan community on making sure that we're open to minorities and that we're open to the LGBTQ community. And like, that's the emphasis, and it should be. And I feel that most people are, but it's like, we're forgetting about the men.
Yeah.
Like, you're treating your male counterparts bad.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I guess unless they fall into like a minority, like, how would that even work?
Well, it's like, we see it to where men can't even start their own covens.
Yeah. Have to have a high priestess.
Yeah. So, And my thoughts on that is, do what you want. If you want to have your own coven, start the coven.
Yeah. I know of a couple guys that have their own coven.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think men are getting a fair shake.
I don't either.
So, you talk about like just the freedom that you get from joining, paganism and free from like all the rules and the structure of Christianity. And, because like with Christianity, like there's so many fucking things you can't do and so many things that you're expected to do. And like paganism, like with Wicca especially, it's just like, if it doesn't harm anybody, do what you want.
And by the way, that's a Wicca.
Yeah, that's Wicca. And like, whatever you do is going to come back on you 3 times.
Yeah.
So like that's a pretty simplified, compared to Christianity.
Ours is like, do whatever you want.
Do whatever you like. We're like, don't hurt an animal.
Yeah.
Don't hurt a child.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like, whatever. Yeah. But it's understanding that women who come into the craft, they want to like kind of shield this newfound freedom that they have, and like that. They almost like get greedy with it, and they're like, no, this is a place where I have power, and I am the one that is in charge for a change, and I'm not going to do anything that places a man back in charge of me.
I don't understand. Like, I know there's situations out there that I'll never understand because I've never been exposed to it, but I don't understand why a lot of women feel like they have something to prove.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. Like,
I can do it all.
Yeah.
I don't need help. No, help me. I like help.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because we've led different lives.
Yeah.
You had a pretty rough go at it the first half of your adult life.
Oh, God, yeah.
You were...
I can make it on my own, but I don't want to have to make it on my own.
Yeah. Like, you were a single mom, working, like, 2 or 3 jobs.
In an abusive marriage before.
Yeah, before you became single because of an abusive marriage.
Yeah.
And it's like... So you
and he was abusive in a way to where he wouldn't leave marks.
Yeah.
So I finally had to, the last incident where I was dragged through the house and everything.
You told me about that.
Yeah, I had to put a bruise on myself so that when the cops came, I'm like, look.
Yeah.
He did do something to me.
Like, please take him away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I ended up being able to get rid of that asshole.
Yeah. So, like, you've lived a life where you had no help from any man whatsoever.
Yeah.
And you were like, I wish I had it.
Yeah.
So now you're like, no, men are great.
Men are great. I love men to death. I love them, love them, love them. I mean, there's bitch women and there's asshole men.
Yeah.
There's no way around that. But you can't put everybody in the same box or under the same umbrella. Just because one man did you wrong... Yeah. Doesn't mean all men are douchebags.
I would have stopped dating a long time ago. if I was like, you know what, that man sucked, they must all suck.
Probably after the spaghetti guy.
Oh, God. Oh.
Did you ever tell him?
I didn't date him. Like, I just talked to him on the internet. It didn't get any further because of the spaghetti.
Are you going to tell them about the spaghetti?
So, okay, guys, online dating. If you've listened to the podcast at all up to this point, you've heard me talk about, like, my online dating experiences and just how, if you
fucked up they are.
Yeah. Who was it that said, like, if you keep looking in the sewer, of course you're going to find rats. But anyway.
They were accurate.
Yeah. Spaghetti guy. Talking to him, getting along pretty good, whatever. And then he was like, I would like to eat spaghetti out of your vagina.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was like, oh, did you catch the new episode of whatever? Hey, I'd like to eat spaghetti out of your vagina. I'm like, what? And I'm like, no. Like, first of all,
I'm trying to imagine how you would have to be positioned physically for him to
okay, wait a minute.
Spaghetti out of your vagina.
Let's just back up. Because there would never be spaghetti in my vagina.
Oh, we know this.
Okay.
We know this. Don't worry.
But it's like, he was like, what? And I'm like, okay, first of all, like, women don't put anything in their vagina that's not, like, designed to be there. Whether by biology or a toy company.
Or a sex toy company.
Yeah. And I'm like, spaghetti, why would you put greasy spaghetti sauce in your vagina? Okay. And then I was like, pasta has, it's made with yeast. So why would I put...
That was your argument.
Yeah, and I was like, I said, that's fucking gross. That's fucking gross. Like, why in the world would you think? So yeah, no, that would, if I gauged all men on spaghetti guy.
I'm surprised. I've been waiting on you to bring up this one point, and I'm surprised you didn't.
Which one?
How dirty that we get the bed sheets.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we talk about that a lot.
We do. Like, when men have, I want to lick, chocolate syrup off of you. We're like, no, that'll ruin my sheets.
Oh, or some people like to be peed on. It's like, were you going to do that out in the yard?
Yeah.
I knew a guy. Well, I didn't know him. We weren't friends.
Did you know him?
I knew him in passing.
Did you take him to the golden shower?
No, I did not. He liked to find pregnant women and have them shit on his chest.
Ew. It had to be a pregnant woman?
Yeah.
Talk about specific kink.
Could you imagine the mess?
Did he, troll around outside of OBGYN?
I don't know.
The road is, literally right there.
Okay.
That was a car.
That was a car?
That was a car going by the window.
Not cool, man.
That's what I'm saying.
You should put up an electrified something out there. It'd be like a bug zapper for people.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Anyway.
But anyway, I could not... I was like, where are you doing this? In the yard?
Yeah.
I don't know any female personally that would...
No.
Want somebody just shitting and peeing in their bed.
I don't want to say his name, but you remember the guy that I was that I'm totally in love with, and I keep his name in my phone just so I don't accidentally answer.
Yeah.
He was really heavy into BDSM.
Yeah.
And he had this big house. I mean, he's a rich motherfucker. He had this big house, and he had a playroom in it.
What?
He had
a straight up Christian Grey situation.
He did. And in the corner of the playroom was the wet area, as he called it.
There's a wet area?
And it had tile floor and a drain, and there was a hose. And if you were going to be doing certain things that would make a mess,
oh god,
that's where where you could do it. And I was like, well, that I'm never going to visit that corner, right? Never.
You're like, I'm definitely not cleaning it for you.
Yeah, no. I'm not. Yeah, no.
A wet area.
Yeah, that's what he called it, the wet area.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did he ever tell you what the wet area was for?
Well, I think when he saw my complete fuck you
mortification.
Yeah. he kept it very PG, as far as sex terms go. And he was like, yeah, if I ever wanted to Jello wrestle or
okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's a waste of Jello, man.
Anyway, back to paganism. So basically our male counterparts, they're really tired of being billed as second class citizens. They're tired of it, and I don't fucking blame them.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna put this out there right now that Feather and Bone, Coven of the Wildwood, we don't have that type of ruling structure. We just don't. You and I founded it and started this, our own little group. So the fact that we're female just is because that's how we were born.
I was going to say, you know, growing up Baptist, they preach very heavily that the women are there to help the man and take care of him, but he's the shit.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Well, Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah. So for anybody who left that situation to come to paganism, because people are equal, why would you do that to a man when you know how it feels to have that done to you as a woman?
Yeah.
It's not right.
It's not. So, they're tired of people not taking them seriously, and that's both inside and outside of the craft.
Yeah.
If a woman says that, she's Wiccan, she's a witch, she's into witchcraft, it's more acceptable by the outside society than it is for a man to say it. When a man says, I'm a witch, they get like, oh, you're a warlock.
I would even say it's harder for a straight man.
Oh, yeah.
To be taken seriously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's face it. The majority of male pagans I know, they're homosexual.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I know more than one heterosexual male pagan, and maybe two.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And I'm including one that's in our group that I've never met.
Okay.
In that number.
What's her name's husband? We cursed her. She's having a bad time right now.
Oh, I've kind of questioned if he's...
Well...
I'm not sure. Sorry, guys. My makeup tools went rolling across the table.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, and so there, it's hard for them to be taken seriously both inside and outside of the craft. They're tired of people assuming that they, and this is what really cracked me up, because I didn't realize this was happening. But like a lot of people, if a man is like, yeah, I'm a male witch, that like they're just automatically assuming that they're like one of the Norse heathens.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you must follow Odin.
Yeah, and I had no idea that was fucking happening. But we don't really think about deity like because we don't follow deity at all.
Right.
So like that's the last thing that comes to our mind is like that they must be following a certain deity. I don't know. Or that they're Luciferians. If you're saying you're a male witch, then obviously you must be practicing witchcraft. I blame TV for that.
A lot of people don't even really know what Satanism is.
And actually, if you look at Satanism, they respect the fuck out of women.
They do.
They really do. They're like, no, you can't rape. Like that's that's bullshit. Like they're very pro woman.
If you actually if anybody who's not familiar with it were to actually research it, and you'd see that it is not even remotely like what they've made it out to be on television.
Media.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Well, it's the same thing with paganism in general. Mm-hmm. How the media, and we've had podcasts about that as well, how the media portrays, people that are pagan. Just on Criminal Minds, that's what, of course, that's what I'm watching through right now.
For the 80th time.
Yeah. It was a Halloween episode, and he was saying that, and it was so funny because he didn't say Samhain, he said Samhain. But he said that he was an evil deity.
Wait, he said Samhain? What?
He said that Samhain was an evil deity.
You're like, it's a holiday!
It's a holiday! So yeah, like, I can understand, like, when we see that.
This goes back to what I bitched about previously. Don't open your mouth if you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So, I mean, just imagine men, though, just constantly having people just think that, like, they're a joke. Or lumping them in where they don't, really belong just simply because they're male.
Yeah.
They're also tired of having their sexuality questioned.
Yeah.
It's like you say, like, oh, I'm a witch, and they automatically assume that you're gay.
And that's not cool either.
No, it's not cool. And then for our gay male witches, like,
they don't want to be presumed straight.
Yeah, well, but like they shouldn't have to say, confirm whether or not they're gay either.
Right.
It's just bullshit. So I mean, yeah, that's, you're gonna like question someone's or assume someone's sexuality based on their religion because they're a male and in that religion.
Yeah, that's
how does that fucking make sense?
People are stupid. Sheeple. Ricola.
And mostly they're just tired of feeling like that, because they're trying to practice and worship and believe in the same way as everyone else in their community, and they're tired of having their motives questioned and be like, I can be feminist right alongside of you, and I still have all the same thoughts and ideas, and I have something to contribute, and they're just tired of like not being listened to and not being taken seriously.
Yeah.
And I don't think you and I have ever done that to anybody, but if we have, like, apologize. I mean, I didn't realize.
I haven't. I'm perfect.
Oh! As she paints her makeup on.
Just kidding.
Why are you doing your makeup?
Because I like it.
Because, like, you're just going home, right?
I like it like that.
I just don't wear makeup, so, like, I don't get it.
I love it. It makes me happy.
Because, like, we've talked about this before, like, with my mom not really being girly herself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only time my mom put makeup on was when we was going somewhere.
I like it.
So, like, I always just grew up thinking, like, that's when you did it. Like, you put makeup on because you're leaving the house.
And as rare as it is for my children to let me get a photo of myself with them,
yeah,
I need to be ready at
be
all
ready.
times.
It was so funny. You was at the soccer game, and you was, like, what, like 30 feet away?
Yes.
And you went to try to zoom in and take a picture of your daughter. She saw your phone up and put her hand over her face.
Yeah, from, like, so far away.
Ugh.
It was way more than 30 feet.
Was it?
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, like half a football field?
It was like from here to the church.
Oh, yeah, half a football field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And I take the picture and look at it, and her hand's covering her face.
Yeah.
I'm like, seriously?
You know, we've talked several times about the fact that, like, you know, we bitch and moan and complain about men in front of your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And she has taken that and ran with it.
I know.
And we've been recently talking, like, we need to cut it out. And we need to kind of
I've switched it around with her. I'm like, because she'll get mad at her boyfriend a lot over stupid stuff.
Yeah. Like, what we all do.
Typical female stuff. And I'll just say, honey, you can't get mad at him for not thinking like you do, because he's not a female.
Yeah.
That's what I've started saying to her.
Good.
But no one can say that kid doesn't love guys.
Oh my God.
She loves her man.
The boy that she dated before the one she's with now, like, he even said, like, you're always saying men suck.
She's like, well, prove me wrong.
Yeah. It's like, I'm open to you changing my mind.
So now I've like switched it up. I'm like, you can't expect your relationship with a 14-year-old boy to look like my marriage.
Yes.
It's not going to happen.
Yes. Well, she has that problem too with friendships, because she sees our friendship.
Yeah.
And she's like, I want a friendship like my mom and Bev.
Yeah.
And it's like, honey, like we were both well into our adulthood before we found each other and, like, had this type of friendship.
Well, like, she has never seen me and my husband argue. Not that that's ever even happened.
Yeah, he never argues with you.
He won't. He refuses to.
He's like, I'm going to go work 80 hours. I'll be back when you're better.
But, like, I've started telling her, I'm like, just because you don't see us argue doesn't mean I don't get mad at him and picture beating his face in.
Yeah.
I said, I just don't talk about it. I said, I'll call my buddy and vent about it.
Well, you're a little sneaky in how you get back at people when you're mad.
I'm shady.
Yeah, well, actually, shady's probably a better word than sneak.
I'm very passive-aggressive.
Evil.
Yeah, that's accurate.
I would go as far as to say evil. If I'll just say this, if you and I are ever fighting, I'm going to hide my toothbrush.
You'll hide all your things.
I'll hide all my things. Like, because you'll clean a toilet with a toothbrush if you're mad at someone.
Yeah.
You'll wipe their clothes on your vagina and hang them back up.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah. Remember I did that with that $20 bill?
Yeah.
So we sold... we may have told this story before. I
think
know.
you have, but tell it again because it's great.
Okay, so we had sold something on Facebook yard sale, and the bitch was like, I want my money back. So I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. So I met her to give her money back, but, like, I was pissed off, so I wiped my vagina with her $20.
And you put boob sweat on it.
Yeah, it had boob sweat and vagina juice on it.
And men, boob sweat is real.
Yeah. So like when I meet her to get it, it's not her, it's her husband. So I ended up having to give this poor man who's never done anything to me my nasty $20 bill. We just left.
And that $20 bill is still being
circulated.
Yeah. With her boobs, sweat, and vagina juice on it.
Yep.
I've probably had it in my wallet a few times.
Yeah. I don't even like to think about money around here because I have the strip club right down the road.
Well, my son, from his job, he'll be like, "Don't touch me, Mom. I've been handling meth money all day."
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. So, like, guys, if you take nothing else from this podcast, I would like for the men to know that, like, there's at least two of us out here.
I adore men.
Yeah.
I love them.
Do you know, I actually wish that there were more straight pagan males.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would love to date another pagan.
Yeah.
They understand where I'm coming from and, like, things that I do.
I'm actually envious of men. I've told you about it a bunch of times.
Yeah. Because
they're able to not worry about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How do I explain it? Because you know me and my anxiety,
yeah.
and I'll overthink things and get more and more emotional and just worked up. And men are able to just be like, fuck them.
Yeah.
And then it's out of their mind.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous of that.
I'm just jealous they can pee standing up.
That would be nice.
You know?
That would be nice.
But no, I really wish there were more. I mean, obviously, just more males in the pagan
You're like,
community.
not just because I want to have sex with.
You know, I would be just fine with more gay pagan males in the community. But, like,
we like men.
I like men. So, like, yeah, if I could find a pagan to date, fuck yeah, I would love it. It'd be better than the Jehovah's Witness.
Oh,
you know,
God.
He wanted me to, like, I haven't, like, my entire corner over there is just witchy, like. Witchy signs on the wall, my altar.
And you know, even me being a witch myself, walking in and seeing that, it's not even that overtly.
Yeah.
Pagan.
Like when you walked right up and you saw that, like, you know, my certificate where I'm able to marry people and all that hanging up over there, then you'd be like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just wish that you know, I would love to date a guy that's pagan.
Yeah.
But anyway, if you're the men, you take nothing else from the fact that, like, at least Rain and I are really excited to have men in the pagan community.
We like men.
And we hate that you're being treated, like, we didn't know that you was being treated that differently. We didn't know.
And I like getting advice from men on things because they're able to look at things so logically.
Yeah. Oh, what was it? I was talking to we asked your husband, how would you handle this? And he was like, just fucking tell the truth.
Yeah. And you and I had come up with like 80 different ways.
Oh my God. We had like a hamster was going to die in New England.
Yeah.
And it was it was going to come into it was going to leave me a bunch of money. So I had to go to England to get it.
Like the whole thing was crazy. And so we went to him to ask his opinion. He's like, just tell him the truth. We're just standing there like, we never thought of that.
The truth never crossed our minds. And women, if you're listening, I'm hoping that you were not aware of how ridiculous it is that you're treating, you know, the men in our community this way.
I don't know any females personally that would treat men that way.
I don't either.
But it must be happening.
Oh yeah, because we had all kinds of responses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but like just stop for a second and think about what you're doing, how you're doing it, what you're saying.
Consider their feelings, because guys, men do have feelings.
Yeah.
As hard a pill as that is to swallow.
Yeah. They may not show them.
Yeah, they do have
but they feelings. Are there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope that you know, we'd done a podcast about what we were pissed off about, and there are some males in our community that are pissed off for some very real things as well.
Yeah.
So,
I just keep wanting to say over and over, I love men.
I love men.
I do. I like hanging out with men. There's no drama.
Mm. I always had male friends as opposed to female friends.
When I worked in EMS, all my buddies were male. Because they're funny. You can joke.
Yeah.
Women get offended so easily.
Yeah.
And men don't. Like, you can relax around men and have a good time.
I don't get offended easily.
No, but we're different.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I don't know. It breaks my heart to think that there's people out there that are feeling like they're considered less than.
Yeah.
Just because of their sex.
Well, and I am working on getting lessons for Coven of the Wild Wood up, and we're going to start a teaching coven, or start meeting for lessons and stuff like that as soon as I get those completed. If you're a man and you feel like you don't have anywhere to go or you want to leave your current group, I'm fine with that too.
I might even show up remotely for a lesson.
Yes. Because we're not like that in our group. One where we don't follow deity. We don't have that type of structure.
No.
And if because in a lot of groups you'll see like a high priestess and a high priest, and the high priestess is always above the high priest. In our group, whether you're a high hunter or a high huntress, we're both on the same level.
Yeah.
We've both learned the same things. Like we're both, and like you can either stay with us and meet with us and have fun, or you can just go on your own way and do your own thing and start your own group. Like we don't care.
Which one is that? Cricket?
That's Cricket up there. Yeah.
Even her back legs, not to sound corny, look just like a lycanthrope or something.
Yeah, well, she's a werewolf cat.
Yeah. When I saw those hind legs, I'm like, it looks like a shapeshifter.
Yeah. That's why she's called the werewolf cat. That's why she costs $2,000.
That's why we had to hold her wrapped in a blanket like a newborn baby.
That was such a fun trip. Like, I was so worried that, like, she was going to bond to you and not me. And
I purposefully wouldn't pet her.
You wasn't looking at her or nothing.
I'm just holding her in the blanket. Just touching the blanket, not touching the cat.
Yeah, because you was really uncomfortable with driving in that really heavy traffic area.
Every time you and I have taken a road trip,
yeah,
and we decide that, okay, it's my turn to drive. As soon as I start driving, we run into an area where it's like either road work or the actual speed limit is 50.
Yeah.
Why does that always happen?
I don't know, because like you're more comfortable driving like on just the long open spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime we get into like down in actual cities,
I'm yelling, I hope you shit yourself.
Yeah. So I always end up driving when we're down like in actual cities.
Guys, I have anxiety.
Yeah.
And when I have people like on my ass in traffic, I get so anxious my chest will start hurting. I'm like, oh my god, they're probably cussing me. Yeah. They're mad at me. And Beth's just sitting there like, I don't give a fuck.
I'll be like, I'm not from here. I'll go slower if you get on my ass. I don't know. The only time I really got really, really anxious driving, I was going through Charlotte, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And that's horrible anyway, because there's like fucking 12 lanes of traffic.
Yeah.
And there was a guy, and he had this big dog in the bed of his truck, and it wasn't tethered in. And like we're like doing 70.
Oh
and
my god!
The dog was going back and forth, and I was like, I have to get past him, because if that dog jumped out of that truck, I'd have killed that guy.
It could have killed you if it landed on your windshield.
It was the poor pup.
Yeah.
Anyway. But I think we should wrap this podcast up. We're just babbling now. Men, we love you.
We really, really do. Even if we make fun of you sometimes, it's out of jest.
Yeah.
It's not.
Like, I love dick.
Oh, God.
And you have it. Like, the men have it.
Oh, I thought you were looking at me saying you have it.
No, you don't have it.
Did you see me start thinking, like...
Do I have a dick?
I'm like, what does she mean?
When is this new development? No, you have what I like. So, I like men. And, you know what? If you feel like you're a dude...
if you feel like you're a dude...
and if you're a dude and you feel like you're being, like, shit on by the community... Send me a private message, and I will curse somebody for you if you don't want to do it yourself.
Hey, there you go.
I will, because that's bullshit.
She's like, because that's what I do.
That's what I do. That's bullshit.
Hey, have you named your vibrator yet?
No. Why would I name it?
You haven't named your vibrator?
No. I can't commit to something like that. Like, why would I name it?
I thought everybody did.
You have many. Are they all named?
Just my favorite one.
What's its name? You had to know that question was coming.
I don't know if I should say.
Well, now
is
you
my
have
face
to.
red?
It is. Now you have to say it.
Joshua the Stallion.
Joshua the Stallion.
and he loves me.
Don't you know somebody named Joshua?
Oh my god!
Oh no!
That's like not the name they go by though. Never gone by that name. No. Oh my god. She's sitting there laughing at me.
Isn't he listening?
No.
Okay, because I know that one of the dudes
No.
from your past has been listening, and I was like, oh my god.
I'm gonna go die now. I'm all hot now. I'm sweaty.
If I'm gonna name it Alejandro.
Ooh, you can play that Lady Gaga song.
Yes. Alejandro.
Yeah, I named him Joshua the Stallion like
Wow.
a long time ago.
Wow.
Like, this one has lasted surprisingly long now that I think about it.
You're like, usually they don't make it very long because I'm fucking the shit out of it. Okay. We need to stop. I'm RavenWynd.
I don't know who I am anymore.
You're like, I'm changing my identity.
My face is red. My head just started hurting and I'm sweaty.
You can find us on the internet at featherandbone.net. There you have access to the Facebook group. Well, no, I took the lessons down.
They'll be there shortly.
You can buy our products, like all that stuff. Remember, it's magic, motherfuckers.